Yo, 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 let's get the business.
Yo. What's cracking like a twin?
What's happening, man? Nothing much. What's going on with you?
Yo, appreciate you hopping on here, man. It was probably was well overdue, but you a busy man. You get busy. So I'm glad I had the opportunity to catch you at a good time.
Nah, I ain't that busy, man. It just it's slow motion sometimes, but with it slow motion, it seems like I'm at fast pace.
Man, I feel you, man. All we can do is take it one day at a time, but man, you multi-talented, you know what I mean? A very extremely talented brother. You always bring a healthy and positive energy. You're known for your musical expertise, as I'm clear of. No doubt about it. And man, just outstanding ear for music, man. You got the ear for the sound, the frequencies. You fun to cut up with and hang out with, I must add. The Mississippi native originally.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
But you lay the game down flat though. You know what I mean? Cut and dry. Ever since I met you, which has been a pleasure meeting you. Of course, I met your brother Chevie before I met you, and ever since I met you, man, you just been a well-rounded, down-to-earth guy. Good for healthy advice, the brilliance, the intelligence, and you great with that audio. You are definitely the audio sound man. You can get the music sounding right. Get that on and popping, get it nice and crisp.
I appreciate that, man. A lot of it, man. This how I feel about knowledge, man. God give us knowledge. It's not to hoard it; it's to share it. And I'm one of them cats that you know when
Mm-hmm.
I started doing music as a youngster, folks didn't want to share that knowledge. When I got the knowledge, I paid for the knowledge, but I give it away for free because at the end of the day, you know, I'm a true believer. Um, to reach one, you got to teach one.
Mm-hmm. That's a very, very well said and a very great outlook to have, especially nowadays.
Yeah, because and I think that's where folks feel like if they hoard the information and then they don't understand why even the culture is not really getting pushed forward because folks want to hold the information and by the time they hold time to get that information up it's outdated. So then now they trying to look for the information and then how they treated somebody back in the days. Now they lacking the knowledge that they need to keep moving forward. When if you keep giving folks the game, and like I said, give it. Before I get when I get the game to somebody, I give it to a person that I know gonna continue to share it with the next person
And
instead of
that's beautiful.
taxing them. A lot of folks feel like that money gonna come to you regardless, but some folks feel like they want to. It's enough money for all us to have, so why try to have it all? You can't die with it. So that's my thing is I don't have the love for money. I have the love to seeing folks grow and see folks doing great things.
Word. So you think some of that confusion that they come with is you think is built off a little bit of selfishness?
Yeah, that's all it is. If a person want to gatekeep, they selfish. If they don't want to share the information, they selfish. Because even some of the information that they got, like I said, it's a lot of us that we did go and get it out the mud. But even the hardships I had coming up doing music, I never let that deter me from helping the next person. I'd rather see you win. If I never make it to the Grammys or get no award, if I see somebody I help win, get a Grammy award, I'm satisfied because I had a part in that, and it wasn't me being selfish. It was me sharing, me giving back when I didn't have to.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And that explain and you living based off of those values and principles, it's evident because you are a successful brother. You know what I mean? And it means you don't mind being inclusive and gathering everybody together and look, this is the info, this is the information I'm gonna drop you on. And I feel like people do get confused a little bit because you can grow that way tremendously, showing that love.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can grow that way too. You know what I mean? People think it's the opposite. But that's what I love about you. That's what I admire and I value about you. You just you'll drop that game on you. You love to see people thrive and succeed in whatever they're trying to do. So if you do have the expertise or any type of knowledge, you always like, look, this is how it is. You know what I mean? That's love, man. You put me up on game about that EQ, those EQ levels. You said, yo, it's a
Yeah,
yo, it's a tricky game. You know what I mean? You got to know the ins and outs of things.
and that's all it is. Once you and I tell folks, like, I went to school for audio engineering, and then once you learn that the human ear, the frequencies, and then what's muddy, what's that
Mm-hmm.
sound boxy, what's the the sizzle, the high ends. So once you learn how to control that, it is just not the EQ, your compression,
Mm-hmm.
um, your gates. Once you start learning that stuff, and then you know how they work together, and then you're like, okay, now I got a crispy, clean sound. Uh,
Chris.
and it's usually a lot of folks that do reach out to me, they don't understand that EQ. And then once I get them to understand the EQ, then let's say, okay, now we got to compress some of this stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
start letting them know what each plug-in or each like I got hardware too. I got compressors, I got de-essers.
You
I,
definitely equipped with what is necessary to execute, man. Like your equipment game is crazy, but what good is equipment if you don't have the skills and the gift and the knack and just the natural ear that you have? You do it in a top tier professional way, man.
man, I appreciate that.
No doubt, bro.
You gluing everything together. That's all it is. When
Mm-hmm.
I look at like when you in art class and you're cutting up construction paper, then you to make a project, you got to glue it all together to make it look nice and neat at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You got to add
Nice, man.
that glue, and so that's when a lot of folks don't understand. That's when you got to add a little saturation to your mix. The to get a lot of the things, like you got spaces throughout your song, so you want all that stuff to glue together, so you got to add a little saturation to glue it all together, and
That's
then with a nice compression.
put that compressor on it, yeah. Cause I've always had a voice, like a pretty nice voice, like when I doing music and stuff like that. And I would get in the booth with people and they'd be like, yo, you don't need a lot of this and that and a lot of reverb on your voice. And I
Who told
understand.
you that? so, so
This is people saying like your voice is crazy. So I'm
So
like,
Axel, you got to ask her what is reverb? Reverb is really the room you in, because like with reverb is more of a echo type sound. It's refraction. Like prime example. So with Motown, if you ever go to Detroit and you go to Hitsville, when you go in there, they turned the house studio into a museum. So it's one room in there. You'll see the ceiling got cut out all the way up to the second floor in the house. So that was their reverb chamber. So that's where the drummer might they place the drum in there, so you can have that it's a echoey type feel, but it's not an echo. It's just the sound bouncing off the wall. So that's reverb.
that's
So
interesting.
so me listening to your voice, you have a deep voice. That tone that your voice have is unique. So that's probably what they was trying to tell you, but they ain't know. They probably said, "Oh man, you got reverb in your voice." So if you're talking, man, it's more they try to tell you that
Word. I'm like, yo, what's that mean?
So
You know,
so reverb is more like when, say, if you in an empty room and you clap your hands, you can hear it bouncing back to you, and so then even when you talk, you can hear like, okay, my vocals is bouncing off the raw. That's reverb.
word. That's
So
understandable then. Yeah, that usually means twice. Reverb bouncing back. So that's cool, man. And yeah, they would say stuff like that, man. Like your voice, it don't even need a whole lot of mix. I'm like, does that mean this music about to come out sounding different? 'Cause,
No, they just didn't know how to mix your vocals.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, you know, how's this about to come out, bro? Like, you paying for this, you know what I mean? Like, so, but let's get to business. So you from the SIP, right? You from the SIP for sure.
Yes, sir. Columbus,
Mississippi,
Mississippi.
word, Mississippi's finest, man.
Yes, sir.
So how was it like growing up in the SIP?
Man, it's like the South. The South different. I just put it like that. It's
Most definitely.
I had my fun growing up. I ain't gonna pretend like I didn't. Just like any kid, you gonna run around and get into everything. Cause you, when I grew up, we wanted to be outside, so we was outside. I ain't like staying in the house. I was somewhere everywhere. I got a twin. I'm a twin. I have an identical twin brother. So
We're gonna get to that. How did
we,
grow up? How does that? Because I've always wondered what that would feel like growing up with an actual identical twin.
it was to me. It's just like having a brother, but a brother that looked just like you.
That's the
And,
wild part.
and it was one of those things where our pops always told us, y'all can't have friends unless y'all get along. So that's my A1 from day one. Then we had a older sister. My sister passed away, but we was tight. You couldn't see one of us without the other. My sister was the oldest, so as an older woman, she went and did her things with her friends. But me and my brother, we was always together. If somebody messed with him, they had to mess with me. It wasn't sometimes we never went around and picked on nobody. But if you mess with one of us, you was gonna get both of us.
Factual. It's a package deal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Ray pack something up, man. Yo, man,
So
no doubt. But that's what brotherhood's all about. Just being there for one another.
so where growing up in Columbus, Mississippi, um music. So my dad from Chicago. My
Shout out to
dad, he was in a band. He was a drummer in a band up in
oh,
Chicago.
man.
So
Man, yo,
mm,
let me Mississippi and Chicago, musically, those
yeah.
two areas, crazy influence.
So here's the crazy thing. My sister was a drummer in a high school band. My sister got band scholarships to go to college. She went to college on a band scholarship, but she played the drums. So she was the oldest. So she playing the drums made us want to play the drums. But when I joined the band, they made me play the trumpet and my brother played the trombone. So I ain't stay in the band long. uh,
Hey.
but it was like music was always in us. So growing up in Mississippi, the HBCUs, you got Jackson State, we got Alcorn,
Yes, sir. Yes.
we had Mississippi Valley, we had Tougaloo, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
we used to go to the football games just to watch the band. Our high school bands played like Jackson State band, the
That's
Sonic
tough.
Boom.
That's
So
tough.
that made you want to do music more
And that's
because
next level. They was getting down. They were getting busy everywhere.
so that's where my first love for music came. It was the band. But then, when I got out the band, um, that jumped in the streets a little bit. but
Culture changed a little bit.
jumped in the street. I jumped in and jumped right
Of
out of
course.
it.
It was a quick
Yeah.
career, huh?
I kept seeing my partners graduate to that penitentiary. I'm like, I don't want no parts of
No
that.
doubt. Dodging that joint.
So I joined the army. So
Mhm.
like again, from the seventh grade, I wasn't doing music. My third year in the army, it hit me. Um, the music bug hit me again. So this is like 1997. This
Mhm.
this what almost 30 years ago. Next year will be 30 years ago. So that's when I started. Me and my partner, call him Gangster. He ended up passing away. We grew up together. We started grinding entertainment. So when he
Word.
passed away, I kind of we was gonna start off as a record label, but I redid it as Grinding ENT Studio. So instead of a record label, I did my LLC and made it into a studio. So Grinding ENT Studio is also, help remember my partner. His name was Eddie Bankhead, but we called him Gangster. So it lives through him too. So the Grinding Entertainment do live, keep Gangster alive. Um,
Word. In honor of his name. Yeah.
yeah. So
That's tough.
then that's because I started off making beats. So
I was gonna
making
ask you
beats,
that. So you started off beat making.
yeah. So
Word.
making beats, then folk like, hey, let's record on these beats. So that what
Mhm.
really got me into recording. Uh, so for I say about good man, I'm gonna say a good 20 years. I was making beats and recording. It was self-taught, and then I eventually went back to school for audio engineering. And when I went back, I just I dove into it, and that's when I started seeing other things just besides doing studio work. I was doing live sounds. I did sounds for bands. I did sounds for the church, front of the house engineer type stuff.
Uh-huh.
um, Being here in the Atlanta area is a whole lot of festivals.
Shout out to
So
the ATF,
I
man.
did a lot of that, a lot of festivals. Like this year, I did a Juneteenth event over downtown off of Pine Street on Juneteenth.
I
You
bet
know,
that was nice.
yeah,
Nice turnout, huh?
I did a little live. It was a band. I was their front of the house engineer. Um, so it's a lot that comes with going to school that you don't know until you go to school. Like,
Mhm.
okay. Because like when I got out of school, I worked at churches. I was the front of the house engineer at churches. And so if you're looking at churches now, that's a whole production. And so it ain't just you mixing for the sanctuary, you're mixing for the on stream listeners as well. So, I worked at this church where they put a lot of money into that church and that sound. And I
That's
and
fascinating, though. That's interesting because you was getting it out the mud with your natural talent and abilities, but then you added that extra seasoning with the education on top of it
yeah,
and developed a superstar. You know what I mean?
I don't
That's
consider myself a star, but you know,
you, you know
I
I
keep
gotta take it there, twin.
I keep myself humble. I ain't no label wear.
I
So
feel
usually, when folks they give me my kudos, I'm kind of more like I
hey,
just working.
you so nonchalant and you humble with it, but that's what people respect most about you. You don't have to say too much if you himothy, you already him and what you do, you know what I mean? So no doubt, man.
yeah,
You've been in the game for a minute, man, and you're surrounded by extremely talented people. I know I met you through Chevy. He's an amazing brother himself, man. Like both of y'all are just very intriguing, educated brothers. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think about
Talented,
it.
gifted. You know what I mean? And y'all bring others around you by that good energy. So
Yeah,
mhm.
Chevy definitely is a I call him a unicorn because Chevy used to rap too back in the days.
That's my dog. We was gonna get to
Chevy,
that. So did you have a rap name? Did you have a stage name at
oh,
any point?
I never rapped. I was just always making beats. I never tried to get on that microphone. I'm a cat that always want to be behind the scene.
Right.
Um,
Smooth. Yeah.
they ain't got to know me. That's how I look at it. Because
No
if they don't
doubt.
know, I let folks believe what they want to about me. I can
Hmm.
go as I please. I ain't into the celebrity and want to be seen.
Hmm.
I, when I don't want to be seen, but for some reason, folks see me because I got all this gray hair. Then they be like, "Oh man, the crazy thing, folks be
Those
killing
are
me."
wisdom.
They ask,
Those are wisdom strands. Those ain't here gray hairs. They call wisdom strands.
then they be asking me, did I dye my locks? I said, no, this is my hair. I said, I said, I knew I was gonna get it because my pops was my pops, my dad, mom, they all had white hair.
It's
So
genetic, huh? Yeah.
so when it hit me about 30, I said, oh man, it's coming.
Here you go.
And so that's how it went down. But
So
it's
what was Chevy? What was Chevy's rap name?
Chevy.
It was Chevy.
Yeah.
Word.
He had
Makes
another
sense.
name, but I ain't gonna tell y'all.
Yeah, I knew that's what I was told me. I was like, yo, what's he had
You
another one.
been had Chevy mad at me. He
Yo,
asked
big
him
shout out to
look.
Big Bro, man. Somebody gotta know. Somebody got to know something on that. But I'm gonna leave it be though. I'm gonna let him be real. But shout out to him, man.
I got some Chevy music over here. We recorded back in the days.
That's crazy. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to tap into that one day. So,
But
where'd you meet Chevy? When did you and Chevy meet? In the military?
yeah.
Word.
So
Well,
it's like like how you meet people in the military and they become your family. So, like me and Chevy met at Fort Knox. And the thing how we met was through Chevy. I was a B knock instructor.
mm-hmm.
Chevy came through B knock when I had first got to Fort Knox. So a lot of we didn't know each other, but I seen them, and then because we both had goals in our mouth, we had both took our
Word.
goals in our mouth. But
Middle of the
um,
90s?
shit, man, this was early 2000. But I had
Early
goals,
2000s? Yeah.
but it was I met Chevy in 2000. And so then it was after that it was more of who was it? It was another instructor at the NCO Academy that said, "Hey man, I think you need to link up with this cat named." I said, "I'm about to tell his rap name."
He gonna
You
give you a
almost
hard
got
time.
me.
Don't do it to him.
You almost got me.
I
But
almost got it up out you.
but it was I don't know. You remember Country Boy Records?
I've been hearing more about him here recently.
So Troy had the little records label at the barber shop off of Wilson Road. So I don't know if you remember Marshall.
I'm younger than all them, like
Oh,
Troy.
so Marshall had a barber shop on 31W. So
Mm-hmm.
when I first got there, I went to Marshall to get a haircut. And like me, I'm new in the city. So I said, "Hey man, who do music around here?" He said, "Oh man, I got you." This Marshall talking. "I got you, man. Hey man, once you leave here, get on Wilson Road on the over there. I think it was a Wendy's. That Wendy's," he said, "it's a barbershop behind that Wendy's. It's a record label there." He said, "Man, when you make some money, go on cut your boy a percent off." So I started laughing. So I go down there. Now, I'm coming from Fort Hood, Texas, so I'm out in Texas. I had all my equipment, so I never was a person to try to rent equipment. I bought my.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got there, I went down there and hollered at him, and Troy wasn't the coolest cat. He wasn't friendly. And so, he kind of blew me off when I went down there. He said, "Oh," I said, "Okay, I'm not cool." So me being me, I got my own music equipment, so I kept doing my own thing. So Beater, I call him Junior. Everybody else
Big
call him
shout
Big
out to
Junior.
big shout out to Beta, the maniac.
So
Word.
I met Junior one day, and then Junior, I had my MPC, sound modules, whole 9 yard, microphones, board. So then I invited Beat over. Then he was like, "Oh man," he said, "Troy, love to meet you." And then I said, "Who is Troy?" Then he said, "Oh, he got the barber shop." I said, "Oh, him." I said, "Okay, that's what's up." I was look, you. you can't do me dirty, or I ain't gonna say he did me dirty. He blew me off. I'm like, okay, I kept it moving. And then I end up meeting ran into Troy at the Rocker one night. And then
I remember the rocker
he didn't have
for
time
now.
to talk to me then when I came to his barber shop. But then when he found out I had that equipment, he had seen me at the Rocker. Then he was like, hey man, um, they told me you got equipment. He said, will you be renting your car? I said, I don't rent no equipment. I said, that's all mine. I said, I pay for my equipment. I said, I don't have time to rent no equipment. And but where in Texas, we ain't had places like that had it. What that Barstow?
Oh, word. It's like a sound store.
No, it was the little city where it was it was some little record place where you can go rent equipment from. And I was like, nah. I said, I got my own. Then he said, oh man, can I come over and check it out? So he came. I still let him come check it out, but I didn't deal with him because it was like you showed me shiesty vibes. I bag up. I don't be
Okay.
want to be around folks that's shiesty because if you get to a point where you too shiesty for me, it's a side of me I tell folks they don't want to meet because he ain't a nice person, and I've been trying to work on him for years. You know, I pray to God every morning that that person stay hidden, that person don't come out of hibernation because he ain't nice.
I feel
And
that. But that's the background to this. There's some
I
backstory to
think
all this, huh?
a lot of folks take, and I had to tell them, I said, man, don't let this smile fool you. And so
Word.
after that, that's when Country Boy end up going to Cincinnati or whatever that little city between Cincinnati and Kentucky. Um, then
Mm-hmm.
it was over. That's when everybody had to come see me.
Word.
And
You been
then,
that
but
dude, man.
some of them was solid. Some of them still solid to this day. You know, that's how I met John Woo. That's my dog to the end. That's another brother from another
That's the
mother.
dog. Shout out
Um,
to John Woo, no doubt, man. Yeah.
um, you know, I met Dane. What's that? Bankhead and Trey. When they was in high school, they was a little group.
Mm-hmm.
That very, very talented young man. I ended up meeting. Well, I worked with him for a little bit,
Shout out
trying
to
to guide,
Dame, man. Yeah.
him down the right path. I say, man, sometimes you got to, some stuff you got to let go.
Dang.
Yeah, it was. I met Dame in 2000. Was it 2007? Yeah, 2007.
Mm-hmm. When you and Chevy met, y'all started getting it popping with the music automatically.
Yeah, most definitely. We
Mm-hmm. Y'all's chemistry is just out the roof. You know what I mean? Now y'all got the Taylor's Talk podcast, incredible guests, magnificent intellect on there, good, subject matter is professional. Of course, you got the crazy engineering behind it, the sound quality is bananas, you know what I mean? I'm tapped in. And I had to throw it in there and make sure everybody check out that Taylor's Talk podcast because you all consistently coming with that content, man.
Man, I appreciate that. It's me and Chevy do a lot of stuff behind the scene. And he'll tell you, you know, we tried to start the podcast in 2000 before the pandemic. Then when the pandemic hit, it kind of got swept up under the rug. Then one day he was like, "Hey, cuz, you ready to do the podcast?" I said, "Yes, sir. I've been waiting on you."
And it resurfaced just like that, right?
Yeah, so we just we sit down and we brainstorm. I shoot him an idea, he'll shoot me an idea. We'll be driving. Like a lot of folks don't. Everybody know the Taylor Talk podcast is up under our umbrella. So we started Musician Taylors. So Musician
Yes,
Taylors.
musicians tailors. To be clear, yeah, no doubt.
So me and him we was riding down to Fort Benning one week, and then he was like, you know, we need to start a music consulting company. And then he's like, I talk about the studio stuff, sounds. He's good with the merchandise, the management. part of artists and road management, tour managing, and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And so then it was like we riding down the street, and he was like, "What name we gonna?" Chevy. Chevy. He tough on that military. He was a 19 Delta. I was a 19 Kilo. So I was a tanker. He was a scout. So he wanted to mix the military with it. I said, "No, man, let's." And it just came to me. I said, "Musician Tailors." I said, we both do music, and then I said we tailors. We can tailor everything to the artist's needs. And then like, yeah, that's cool right there, cuz. So we ran with musician tailors, and then Tailors Talk is a play off musician tailors. So
Mm-hmm.
so instead of we saying musician tailors podcast, we just said Tailors Talk podcast. So
Right. Roll it
they
right off the tongue like that.
yeah.
No
So
doubt. Yeah.
So it's more of a, we sit down and talk to each other, come up with ideas, and we bounce off each other, and that's a good thing because it's like he, Chevy, my brother, and Maddie kind of keep me mellow. They keep,
Shout out to Matty B, man. So when y'all run into Matty B, the
oh
pen,
man, so
big
Chevy
energy.
Chevy Chevy ran into Maddie first. So we did a network event. Me and Chevy did this network event, and he brought her to the invited her to the network event, and she was in here singing. I like, oh,
Shout out to
Songbird.
Matty B, man. She's one of my favorite artists on this planet, no
Yeah,
doubt.
she's super dope, super dope.
Mm-hmm.
She had so we got another partner named Cato Dupree, and Cato he got a deal with singing at this restaurant, in Atlanta. They do live bands at some of the restaurant spots. So
Mm-hmm.
past weekend, him and Maddie, they had a show. I went to it. I end up mixing the second half of the show.
Yeah.
uh,
Slapping
I,
that
I was
flavor
sitting
on
there.
there real quick.
I was sitting there. I'm sitting in there. I went in there to get something to eat and listen to them. The
Word.
first half, and it wasn't no fault to nobody else. It's just they didn't have enough of people, and I
Mm-hmm.
just, I took upon myself. After they went into intermission, I went up and say, "Hey, man, I run the board for you,
That's,
because
that's
you know."
hard though.
So everything started smoothing out afterwards. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Matt is super dope.
Yeah, I bet that thing was rocking, man. She is dope, bro.
Yeah, it was a nice turnout. The folks was enjoying themselves, and they always do their thing. When Matty Cato come together, you got Matty Cato, Lamar, Clef. They some super dope artists.
Yeah.
Clef and Lamar also they do production too, and Lamar also he's an engineer, but they got some super dope music.
That's tough. Yeah, y'all surrounded by a lot of other talents too. I'm talking about that Atlanta area y'all in, and just what you all provide to the game and what y'all involved in, man. Plenty of talent, bro. Plenty of big names, all that good stuff. Y'all in a good area for y'all's personality. You know what I mean?
But the crazy thing, man, I would say this here: being in this area, um, you're gonna run into some folks that don't have big names.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 times better than the big names.
It's fire. It's always like that, isn't it? Too. It seems
Yeah.
like that in basketball and everything. You know what I mean? It's like,
And it's more where I feel that a lot it money moves the machine. I will put it like that.
got the
For
you got the
coolness.
machine behind you. Yeah, it's different, huh?
Yeah, if you got the financial backing, you'll get out there. But I ain't gonna just say you don't. Talent will get you out there, but also the drive. Because you're coming here, you will see a lot of good artists get burnt out because they trying hard and hard to move that needle forward. But then you do have some, like I said, there's some shysty individuals in this music industry, and then
No doubt. No doubt.
if you don't understand the if you don't understand the business aspect of the music industry, then you will get caught up into a point where you gonna either give up or just or sell your soul.
That's deep. We hear a lot about people selling their soul too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's a financial aspect of it. You see these artists, you see it nowadays. You know, they get asked questions on certain podcasts and things of that nature, and they're like, "Yo, how much bread did you invest in this?" And they always say over 100,000. You know what I mean? They like it's a crazy game now. It's different now. Like back in the day, I feel like record labels were looking for talent. They were searching for talent.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a reverse ball game now. You know what I mean? Then you got the streaming game. So how you feel about streaming? That's another complaint.
So streaming, I feel it's to get them. I'm gonna put it like this here. Back in the days,
It's crazy.
you used to go out there and buy your music, your CDs, your cassettes, your records, and stuff like that. Even you used to have to buy your digital downloads. Re-rent music now.
Word.
That's all streaming is. You just renting the music, and then but renting the music, the artist is not getting paid. So, because if
That's
you
what. That's what I mean. It's. I mean, what is it? 0.00. You're like
yeah,
it's
it's less than a
wow.
penny.
I mean, I remember I used to rap for a little minute when I was younger. Look, I would get all my music together, do the album cover myself, everything, package it up, burn it, get the CDs burnt and everything, and then they going for $10 a copy. That is unheard of nowadays.
But so you see what they're doing now. A lot of artists is pulling their music off these DSPs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
the DSPs is digital streaming platforms.
Right.
Because I want somebody, if somebody like, what is a DSP? So that's a digital streaming platform.
Yes. To be clear, the
Because
digital streaming services.
so what a lot of folks is doing, they pulling their stuff out and they going back to trying to sell their stuff. Um,
Facts.
they building their own stores so you can purchase the stuff. It's still going on streaming platform because you ain't gonna just leave money on the table. But
Right.
before they drop it, they want to sell it first. Because
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing, you always want to copy like I got records over here. I got CDs. I got
Finals.
yeah, I got vinyl records.
Yeah.
I got 45s, whole nine. I got cassette tapes.
Facts.
But
Because
you gotta remember, you
yeah.
pay for it and you keep it. So say if I go, I got Apple Music, Tidal, whatever. Um, Once I say, hey, I don't want to pay this subscription no more, I don't have access to that music no more. So that's what I said. You written music if you listen to if you streaming your music. So
Mm-hmm.
me doing music is to me is not really helping the artist because you got to run them numbers up in the millions just to get a couple of dollars.
That's crazy. I seen Snoop said that. He like, yo, I struck this amount and got this amount, and I'm like, yo, where's the chicken at? Like, and this is Snoop Dogg. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a crazy
Yeah.
game, but I feel like they've been taking advantage. You know who I mean by that?
Yeah.
Taking advantage of our talents for quite some time, twin. You know what I mean? It's been
I
you go
tell
back
you
to
way back in the
Sam
jazz
Cooke
era,
days. You know what I mean?
all of that. Because here's the thing: if you look at it, even rock and roll, our hands in all of it. But then you have, and I would say this here, and if they want to come for me, let them come for me. I don't care. They got to understand it's wartime though. But
they don't know you
uh,
like they don't know you like that, twin.
the thing is with that, a lot of the folks that really started these genres, they gave the game away. They was
Word.
too friendly. They gave the game to the wrong people, and then when they gave it to them, they didn't want to give it to us,
Mm-hmm.
and then now they looking crazy. They let that being celebrities go to their head. They let the limelight think they're not they untouchable. Then when they get touched, then they want to run back. No, stay on cross that fence. Don't come back over here. And
Mm-hmm.
that and but then you start seeing a lot of folks doing what? They selling their catalogs.
Mm-hmm. I see that a lot too, and I don't blame them nowadays because, like you said, if everything's gonna be digital,
Yeah,
you renting it anyway.
and then they making this AI music, which is crazy.
Who's gonna get into that? That's what,
Man, that's it's
yo.
ridiculous. Because what it was a song I just heard, and then the dude told it what to do, and guess what? I said, man, that's Prince all day long.
Sound like Prince?
It sound like Prince. I mean, the whole thing. Because here's
Identical.
the thing. This is what folks ain't understanding. They're feeding the machine. They feeding the machine your ideas. The machine is going online, pulling stuff from past videos, interviews, whole nine yards. A lot of folks don't understand. They say, "Oh man, I did this on Chat GPT. I did that on Chat GPT." But you just fuel the machine.
The
You keep
machine.
fueling the machine and thinking it's gonna get smarter and smarter. I ain't finna get into all the conspiracy theory stuff, but you start if you some of the stuff starting to play out. Some of this stuff we
Yeah,
see in movies starting
it's
to play.
becoming wild. It's becoming next level. Like, I don't know if the data centers, I was going to ask you about the data centers being built around the different states. Did you notice that?
Yeah, that's holding information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like you said, it's a I got many talents. So I went to school to be an electrician. So the first job I got offered was to work at a data center.
Wow.
So
Mm.
that data center, this is where this is where I think a lot of folks got to really look into their research with the data center. The data center, big data been out there. It's been out there since the like 2000, what 15, 16, something.
I
About
wouldn't doubt that at all.
I would say about 2008, big data been out there, data centers. The thing is, they was started off small. So since everything is going to AI and all this stuff, you need data centers to hold that data. Just like, for instance, so we on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and all that stuff. The videos we upload and stuff like that. It got to go somewhere.
The
So
data, the
that
information.
yes. So that's what the data center really is. It's just saving the data that we put out there. And the reason why a lot of folks don't want data centers in their neighborhoods and stuff like that, because you have to. So if you ever been in a server, because again, I got a degree in IT. My first degree is in IT. So those servers got to stay cool. So a AC unit ain't gonna keep that thing cool like folks think it is. So they got to run that cool water through those systems to
Hmm.
keep it colder than it needs to be. So where they gonna get that water from?
That's
Where they
interesting.
gonna, where they gonna get that power from? The power and the water gonna come from within your neighborhood.
From the
So
community. Yeah.
now you got your water getting messed up. For instance, prime example, Memphis, Tennessee. That data center in Memphis, Tennessee,
Word.
that's gonna happen. It's
So
gonna
it's
get
the energy. It's the energy that's gonna need. That's gonna take to operate and activate.
yes,
Pulling from the communities.
yeah, the energy and the water.
So the
So,
resources. Woo.
so that's the big issue, environmental,
So
and
that's the beef with the data centers. I've
yes,
been seeing it going viral now recently.
yeah, they try to build one over in by my neighborhood.
Word, they boycotting the data centers
Oh,
out there
they
in
shut
Memphis.
that thing down. They shut it down. They gotta shut it down. I ain't gonna pretend. They said, oh no, they gotta go somewhere else. They shut it down.
I'm not gonna hold you. So the people won that one. They
Yeah.
went through court and all that.
So the company that was trying to build a data center here, because here's the thing, they already got one. I say it's about a good 10 miles away from my house. Then
Hmm.
they're like you said, they popping up everywhere. You got one in Fayetteville. You got one
Yeah.
um, right here. Is that I don't know if that's Rex or Morrow. They got one right there. So you start seeing them, but then it's like they get like the one over here by my house. They shut it down. They built it,
Wow.
but they can't operate it. The
Mm.
city said no because what they try to do, they try to get it in areas that's rural. But
Rural area, yes.
if
Less
the area
housing.
yeah, if the area is growing, they're like, nah, we ain't finna do that. Because what they did, they bought a trucking company warehouse. It was a trucking company that had this warehouse. And I noticed all the tractor trailer trucks disappeared. And then I kept like, okay. The next
Like,
thing I
word.
noticed, they rebuilt the building.
Wow.
And then I like, oh, that looked like one of them data centers.
Well, whoever's investing in these, they're trying to get it popping for sure. Because
But
that's a big investment.
the folks that's so you have Google, you
Right.
have what's that? Meta is Facebook.
Right.
They have,
So these are the major companies are the ones
and
that's
Oracle. And
word.
Oracle is the other one. So those the three that's been trying to get through here.
Yeah.
But so it's this one city. It's on the other side of Conyers, Georgia. It's called Social Circle. It's ain't nothing there. They end up building a data
It
center.
sound like ain't nothing out
It ain't.
there.
But
So I got to squeeze this one in though, fam. I got to. Yo, top producers that you ever been influenced by.
you
You got
ready for it?
you have a top three?
Oh yeah, man, all day long. Look, folk gonna look at me crazy. Kanye West.
What? Nah, nah. Kanye's
He's
nice, bro.
fine.
Extremely talented, bro.
You got Kanye.
You started
Look,
off with.
um,
And one of my favorite records is Through the Wire. I listen to that just about every day.
then I got Jay Dilla.
Ugh,
Yeah.
nasty. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he's
John Woo.
super dope. Nah, he's super dope. Who'd you
John Woo.
say? Corey
John Woo.
who?
John Woo, my third one.
Oh, Woo? Word.
Yeah,
Hey, I commend you on that one. Yeah, shout out to my bro John Woo, bro. Yeah, no doubt. Woo been dope for.
yeah.
I've known Woo since I was little. You know what I mean? Like the people that used to make my beats when I used to spaz out a lot more. Um, he taught them how to make beats. So that's how I caught wind of who Woo was.
Yeah, Woo super dope. I think he a lot of folks. I ain't gonna say they slept on because Woo did his thing. Woo done went to New York and did some great things, and came back to Kentucky and continued to do great things.
Hmm.
Like he to me, he elevated. He elevated from just making beats to understanding management, and got one of the dopest artists out of Kentucky,
I
Mars.
agree. I agree. John Woo's just he's cool too, man. Like sort of like you know what I mean? Advice, things of that nature, ideas. He's not afraid to pitch them to you. You know what I mean? If he knows about it, if he has knowledge of it, he's gonna holler at you about it. He's not afraid to share it with you. You know what I mean? He taught me some things on Pro Tools when I didn't know what was going on. The inputs and outputs and all that stuff. Left notes for me, everything. You know what I mean? So
He the crazy thing, Woo. I had I I was always hardware, and then I think it was 2005. Woo
hmm
said, "Man, you gotta get on this Pro Tools." I said, "Man, forget that computers and stuff." I was
a
using
Pro
Pro,
Tools monster, bro.
and so then I when he was up in Lexington, when he was with Slaughterhouse and them.
Yeah,
So I go up to
slaughterhouse.
the studio. I was in Texas, but I had to come to Fort Knox, and so he was like,
Word
"Man,
up.
Peter, come to Lexington with me." No, was it Frankfurt? Was it Frankfurt? Well,
Knowing knowing
um,
him, probably
Kentucky,
both.
University of Kentucky is in Frankfurt.
Oh, UK? No, that's Lex. That's Lexington.
Okay, so yeah, it was Lexington. So I ended up going up to Lexington. The studio was across the street from the campus, so we was in there. We was in there. Then I made. He was like the way he had the MPC set up, running through. They had that digital two or digital one board, and then it's like it made it so easy to dump your tracks into Pro Tools.
Hmm.
Um, I made a beat and then I dumped it over there. I said, "Oh yeah, I got to get this." So it made it easy to mix your beats and stuff like that. So man, and arrange them real easy compared to back in the days. The MPC, you got to mute this sound, play it for a minute, and all that. So
Word.
it was he introduced me to Pro Tools, and I've been on
Ooh,
Pro
nice.
Tools.
He's nice, man. His beats has always been fire too.
Yeah,
Like he got the type of. I still have a few of his. I remember he slid me one. He like, yo, Ghostface Killer's not gonna use this one. You can have it. I'm like, oh, word. You know what I mean? Oh,
and,
Ghostface not gonna use this one, but here you go. You know what I'm saying? But
but
like,
then he ended
it was crazy. It was nuts.
It was a beat that Ghostface used from Wu. I can't. It was that the beat.
It may have been the same one. It had a sample on it. I believe so. Sample on that joint. It was dope. It was very nice though. It's usually right up my alley. How I used to like to spit. You know what I mean? With the cadences and with the bars and everything. You know what I mean? Because he would automatically kind of have a New York flavor to it,
Yeah.
but but within his own sauce. So yeah, Wu one of them dudes, man. Your top three beats of all time. Can you give me three? And
Ooh.
that's petty. I know that's a petty question.
Um, the top three beats that I like. Um, um, it's this song called "On My Way" from Shelly Sweets. Um, I think that's a super dope beat.
Nice.
Uh,
R&B?
she R&B, yeah, she like neo soul. It's called "On My."
Beautiful.
It's a song for the folks that participated 420.
There you go. So it's a vibe out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. It's a viber.
Uh, and the crazy thing about it, I made that beat.
Hey, what? Talk heavy on that, bro.
Uh,
Twin, you gotta send me that joint when we get off here, bro. I gotta hear
uh,
it.
and then I
I gotta
always
hear that.
um one of my favorite. It's a Tribe Called Quest song.
Okay, take them back
Luciana,
then.
what's it? Lucky Luciana.
Mm-hmm.
That beat right there. It's a lot of. It's like two or three different jazz samples in that beat. And I
Smooth, huh?
I end up one day I'm just listening to a bunch of jazz music, and then it's like, wait a minute, and I said, oh, Tribe Called Quest. Then
Tribe Called Quest,
another,
yeah.
I seen how Q-Tip took those samples
Mm-hmm.
and linked them all together. That was amazing to me. And then
I bet that one been sampled plenty of times as well. That one being an old school classic.
yeah, but see, I never after Tribe did it. I never seen nobody else do it like he did. Then I like
Murder.
now.
Yeah.
This one song, Thank You" from that Jay-Z song.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
That is dope.
Beat to me. Yeah,
He's a very nice beat selector, in
yeah,
my
he is.
his selection is just. I feel like a lot of artists kind of miss that concept. You know what I mean? You can be the flyest artist on this planet, but I feel like beat selection is also a gift. And if you don't have the gift, then it takes people like you with a good ear to be like, yo, I think you sound nice on this.
already.
Mm-hmm. Because you were bringing them artists in, man. You done been around some beasts.
Yeah, yeah, it's Twan the God, Six Element. They some super dope. They young cats, but they are super dope. I mean, they touch everything. They just ain't hip hop. They R&B. They
Mm-hmm.
um they pop. You name it, they own it. That
Versatility.
Twan is from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. That's where Maddie B from, right? Or is she from South
Matt
Carolina?
Matt is from Winston Salem. They both from North Carolina.
They
North
both from
Carolina,
Carolina, though. Yeah.
yeah, the Carolinas got some super dope artists,
Nice.
and that's from South and North. I ran into a lot of dope artists here from the Carolinas.
Word. Shout out to the Carolinas. No
Yeah,
doubt. They were slept on for a long time, too, as far as the music world, I feel like.
it's this one little cat named D-Lo. He from North Carolina. He's when I say he got a vibe, he got a vibe. So a lot of folks, you remember, little brothers that was part of Ninth Wonder crew.
I
Them
remember Ninth Wonder. I remember
so
that name.
so Ninth Wonder, he used to do all the production for this group called Little Brothers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you ain't heard of them, they was some super dope. They was slept on. I will say that, but if
Word.
you heard one of their songs, you're gonna like, oh man, I like this, and you're gonna just start diving into their catalog. But Ninth Wonder did a lot of stuff for them back in the days, and then they kind of went their separate ways. But they from North Carolina.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Shout out to them Carolinas, man.
Yeah. Just like
So,
Kentucky got a lot of hidden
most,
jewels there. Yeah,
most definitely. Kentucky got them, too, man. You're starting to see a lot of more of them emerge lately. I guess that's what the internet is good for, you know what I mean, is the geographical part of it, reaching all different corners of the earth now.
but I but the thing is, here's the crazy thing. Kentucky, music wise, been on the map for a long time, especially during the New Jack Swing era, because y'all got
Okay.
Static Major, a lot of
Static, yeah, which
uh,
Wu got to work with. Yeah.
uh, Native was super
Hey,
dope. So the
no
thing
doubt.
is that y'all got Navy Roots as well. So it's
No
uh,
doubt about it, man.
like Hollow. You got what's that little youngster? Um,
I know you're talking about uh,
I can't think of the name. Hey,
the rapper.
don't beat me up because I don't know her name. I just
ESTG,
no, not him.
the Jack Harlow, the R&B singer,
Yeah, what's his name?
Bryson Tiller.
Yeah, that's him.
Bryson was
So,
nice. He's
so
nice.
it's a lot of hit makers there in Kentucky that
Absolutely, for sure.
yeah, Dorian, Dorian now.
Yeah,
So a lot of it is that um it gets slept on because it's Kentucky. Just like Mississippi gets slept on because it's Mississippi. You have a lot of, everybody, we got our David Banner, we got Big Crit, you got
them.
Kirby, you got Dear Silas. But here's the one slept on Mississippi cats. Mississippi was it Mississippi Most Wanted? Yeah, them boys was some serious back in the '90s. They used to wear suits like gangster suits with the hats. They was some
Oh
cold
yeah,
rappers.
word. Like mobster style.
Yeah, they was
Word.
solid. But they didn't. If you weren't from Mississippi, you wouldn't have heard them.
That's how
So
it is sometimes, man. Yeah, no doubt.
So a
Yeah.
lot of folks sleep on some of them states because of they look what's going on in Kentucky, stuff like that. But
So they kind of judge it from outside looking in, or based
yeah,
off the
until you,
perspective. Yeah.
yeah, until you come down in there, you like okay. A
Hmm.
lot of folks think Louisville is a play city. come there,
Definitely
come there
not
with your
playing.
eyes closed
Yeah.
if you wanna.
Yeah, highly mistaken. Yeah, for sure. They're being for a rude awakening for sure. So let me ask you this: old Atlanta versus new Atlanta. How you feel about that?
I ain't here, so I ain't from here, so hey, I respect Atlanta. It ain't it. That one right there, I feel you. Old versus new. I ain't grow up here. I moved here during the new Atlanta era. I do hear that a lot. Oh,
Yeah,
Atlanta this and Atlanta that.
yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? You hear you hear the rumors and the whispers. You know what I mean?
But then I will say this here. Anywhere you go in life, if you get stuck in one place and you don't evolve, that's on you.
Hmm. They call it Black Hollywood. They call Atlanta the Black Hollywood. That's their nickname.
I'm gonna be quiet, man.
You say everybody famous in the ATM.
I'm gonna be quiet, man.
Yo,
I'm
no
gonna
doubt.
say this here. You gonna run into. I get what some of the folks are saying here. You have the original AT aliens. Um, you have your folks from Decatur, College Park, East Point, um, Mechanicsville.
Hmm.
Um, you got all of that. You know, Buckhead, Bankhead.
The
Um,
different zones and all that. Yeah.
so the thing is, you have a lot of folks that migrated to Atlanta. I'm one of them. So
Hmm.
some of the folks that migrated here, they they disrespectful. And so,
Word?
no, just like I will say this here, and everybody watching this gonna say the same thing. Some of the stuff they can't go to Chicago and do some of the stuff some of these folks came down here and did on that they do down here. They'll find themselves in a body bag. Some
Oh,
of
you
these
talking
cats come here. Some of these
this
cats come
side
here
of it.
being disrespectful. Me being from the South, you respect your neighbors. You respect how they move and shake in here. But then it's a lot of folks that moved here. They came here disrespectful, and then the first thing you got cats that come from the city, from a bigger city, come down here want to say, "Oh, y'all some country, y'all don't know this and don't know that." You can't come to me and tell me that. You like I said, even in Mississippi, you couldn't come to Mississippi and say y'all country this, that, and that. You were gonna find yourself in that river.
Oh,
That was
that's
they was gonna find. So
because
the
I
first,
remember like the first stages of hip hop. You know, I understand doing my research on the essence of hip hop and how the South kind of felt like, kind of like Outkast Andre. We got South got
yeah,
something to say. You know what I mean? When you stand up, how do you feel about that transformation? People up north kind of judging people down south a little differently as far as like the hip hop journey is concerned, and then I feel like it was a complete 360. The South started running it. You know what I mean? Like for a minute.
so
How do you feel about that whole transformation?
that whole transformation this is how a lot of folks don't understand that a lot of folks migrated from the South to them areas.
Hmm.
And they got their influence from a lot of folks in the South. Just like, for instance, if you talk about the West Coast, like say for instance, and I ain't no gang member, I ain't in the gang culture, but you had Tookie Williams. He from New Orleans, from Louisiana. He moved out to Cali.
Oh,
So
word?
you ain't know that?
Nah.
Yeah. So Tookie went out to Cali, and
Yeah,
that's how that
that's
style is
wild.
from that swag is from Louisiana. So
Do
who
your
you
homework, huh?
who
Yeah.
else you got? You got Jeff Ford and you got Larry Hoover. They from Mississippi.
That's wild. It is
Folks didn't know that they from the Delta. They
wild.
migrated to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things, a lot of your jazz musicians and stuff like that came from the South that moved to New York and to to see something different, to get a better opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But for
Right.
a lot of folks to try to say the South ain't got nothing to say, it's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I've been to New York. It's a bunch of educated cats up there. They might be in them streets, but they they very smart. I give it to them. But then
Word.
I this here. It's a lot of smart cats down here in the South. And Andre was right. We do have something to say because I can't knock the way you had to grow up in New York. So don't kind of knock how I had to grow up down south. You know,
Yeah,
like
don't judge. Yeah.
how am I knock somebody how they had to grow up in the West Coast and up north. Everybody had their own trials and tribulations they had to
Right.
overcome. Instead of sitting here trying to understand it, they want to talk down. And then they want to talk down and gain fame because, like Pimp C said, you mad because your favorite rapper ain't on the shelves, ain't selling out no more. So it's one of those things where if instead of being letting jealousy rear its head to say, okay, hey, let's evolve. Let's all sit down and talk and come up and build together instead of tearing each other down and then move down here and then feel like you still better. That's the problem. That's what I see what's going on wrong with Atlanta. You got a lot of cats that moved here that ain't from the South. They feel like they better than you. I done ran to the sun. But I ran in the sun when I was in Kentucky. Cats came from Philly, felt they was smarter and better. And I had to tell a cat this here. I said I might talk slow, but I ain't slow. So watch out.
Sometimes you gotta put them up on game because look, don't judge a book by its cover. Nah, it's not where you're from. It's how you come anyway.
And that's because we talk slow, talk country. I
Mm-hmm.
know I pronounce my words correctly all the time, but I know the one thing I could tell somebody, you can't get over on me. And I let them talk. You can say whatever you want to about me. I bet you won't put your
Mm-hmm.
hands. And I
Sometimes you gotta let them. Hey, twin. Sometimes you gotta let them be wrong. You know what I mean? you know.
and that's them killing a blessing. The only
Mm-hmm.
like I tell folks, I give you before I take from you.
No doubt. I
That's
know that for sure. I can vouch for that for sugar dig. So what do you consider? Let me ask you this: what do you consider a hit record?
what I consider a hit record is so my ear has changed. And I'm not, I kind of moved over to the R&B. Sometimes, my spirit won't let me listen to some of the stuff I would listen to back in the days. So what I
Understand?
consider a hit is another person might not consider a hit. I prefer underground music now, cause but the crazy thing about it, that's how it always been for me.
Hey,
Always,
twin. I've always been an underground guy. Even now, which a lot of people, more people are more diverse now, and they. But yeah, I've always been leaning towards the underground for some reason.
because I feel that's where the heart and soul is in the underground.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that's on surface is watered down. It's just the gig is I don't want to say they're not talented artists. I would
Right.
say the majority of them trying to get a reaction quick, fast, in a hurry. Let
Mm-hmm.
your let your music be mature. And then as like I said, I'm an older cat now. So I can't listen. Don't get me wrong. And I had this conversation earlier today. Um, King Von, he's a great storyteller. I mean, very dope
No doubt.
storyteller. But man, I can't. I had to tell a youngster. I said, y'all be in the club listening to King Von. I said, when I used to go to the club, I'm trying to holler at all the women. I said, y'all going there
Yeah.
and talking about, y'all looking at like, who I'm going to kill tonight.
They in there
Instead
meat
of that,
mugging.
I said, instead of trying,
yeah.
hey, look at that little broad over there. Let me holler at her. Who
yeah.
she is? Come see
Them,
her. So I'm more of I started listening to artists nobody listened to, and
Hmm.
it's like and it's crazy. I just I can't think of her name right now. She a female artist. She got a song called um on ego, kill your ego, and
Uh-huh.
it in the song in the song she's rapping, but she also singing too. She's rapping about she going back and forth with her ego, and I was like, look, stumbled across the song. I'm like, what is this? I said, okay, this old tight song. So
Uh-huh.
the thing that I look at as a hit, America's not going to look as a hit because it's not catchy, it's not degrading, it's uplifting, it's trying to educate your mind and say, hey, look here, kill your ego and you'll get farther. But then
I'm right there with you, twin. Right there with you on this.
so I my idea of a hit, they ain't gonna say it's a hit. So it's like if
Do you feel like certain records got played on the radio so many times with that repetition that it almost became a nice song to someone that didn't even enjoy the song when they first heard it?
all day long. Why is that?
Like,
so
yo,
so
about the 50th time you heard the joint, it's like, oh, maybe this is all right.
it's
You ever
program.
felt like that?
So that's where propaganda come into play.
Yeah.
So me being in the military, being overseas, looking back into the United States from overseas, you start seeing things news wise, because news will paint a person to be the most ugliest thing in the world. But if they keep playing it over and over and over and over again, what you gonna start thinking? The
Mm.
average person gonna start believing the BS. The person that gonna sit back and think for themselves, they just want to keep repeating it so you can feel some type of way, and then you'll start to dislike this person, or you might say regardless, because like they paint us as angry. They don't look at us as humans. They look at us as monsters and
Like
thugs and
you said,
stuff like
that
that.
programming has been so
Because you
consistent.
remember, I don't know if you remember that cop that killed that preacher, but the first thing that news lady said, a big thug.
Right. Animal, thug.
Yeah. So
Word.
with the music, if it's a negative song, they gonna run it back to back to back to back to back. So then you're like, well, okay, it's kind of catchy. I caught myself like that one time, and I'm like,
Yeah,
man, what you think? What you doing?
word. We've all been caught like that, and the power of it is it's actually it's mind blowing. You know what I mean? It's like, but
But they
I wanted
say,
to ask you that because that's such an interesting topic. You know what I mean?
but like you said, frequencies. A lot of if you once you understand the frequencies in the music aspect, you have your sad songs,
No doubt.
that those frequencies fall in. Then you have your songs where other, I don't want to get churchy on you,
I got
but
I got you.
they already said, they say, hey, Satan, Lucifer was, when he talked, he it was godly songs and stuff like that. So a lot of the music is controlled by him. You
Yeah,
know,
I know when I walk in the grocery store, I'm like, look, twin. I'm like, yo, for one, I don't be in Wally World a lot, but when I do, I'm like, I'm gonna spend $30, right? You go in there, that music playing, and then you go to that final tally, you don't spend 150. Music done put you in a trance.
yeah, and it can. It'll put you in a I can't listen to the stuff I used to listen to back in the days.
It's understandable. You
And
don't
it was,
receive it the same.
yeah, because it was one day I was just, like I said, King Von is a super dope storyteller.
And he's a dope artist. And he had a
And
lot of influence too, twin.
oh yeah, that murder game was down. That drill was they were drilling. But if you look at it, all those drill rappers out of Chicago, they either dead or heading to jail.
It's not looking good, man.
But the thing is, a lot of it is it helped destroy. So once you help and destroy, what you think gonna happen? They're gonna keep playing it. They're gonna play it, play it, play it. Just like how Dave Chappelle said it. He said when he was using the slur of a male gay guy, they told him he can't say that. And
Oh,
then
word.
when he came back and said, "Well, um, can I say the N word?" And then she said, "Yeah." Then he said, "Why can't I say the N word?" Then she said, and then he said, "Because I don't know none." And then so
What?
it's just stuff like that that I think a
Uh-huh.
lot of folks got to start understanding that we give a lot of the power we give. And then it was this judge, I don't know which state she sat in. Um, she said this here: they can't fire me. They if they fire me, they still gonna have to pay me. But she said it. She said that she ain't got no problems with black folks as long as they just stay as entertainers and athletes.
Just shut up and dribble, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's so a lot of folks don't pay attention to how they look at us. I pay attention, but at the end of the day, it's like it ain't no to me. It ain't a black or white thing, no Hispanic thing, no Asian thing. But we we're the most mimic
Yeah.
people on this planet, and that's overseas as well. But then when you start doing great things, they're going to tear you down. They want to look at you why and make you feel like why he don't deserve what he had.
And
It's
not only that, there's so many inventions and things of that nature that the credit wasn't there. It wasn't given to the proper source.
yeah, they steal everything.
That's wild. I don't even want to get into that, twin. We'll be here forever. Like, yo,
Yeah,
so, but that's good. It's nice to have that proper understanding, especially nowadays. I feel like generationally, the education is starting to, as far as that, not book education, but culture, things of that nature, like how we're breaking down right now.
yeah.
So, do you have any superstitions?
Nah, I don't believe it.
I didn't think you did. You a
If
little
it
bit
happened,
more on, you a little more on the spiritual side.
yeah, I feel what God got for me, He got for me. We all gonna go through trials and tribulations, so it's one of those things. I just pray that I try to stay right and He keep me right.
No doubt, man. You miss CDs and vinyls? Like riding around listening to them? The
Well,
CDs?
man, my truck still got a CD player in there, so
Word?
yeah, but my car it don't. So I got to stream the music in my car, but in my truck, yeah, I throw old UGK in there.
Yeah, let's get the business. Ah. Hey, look, you hit a bump and look, keep on sliding.
Yes, sir. I definitely I'm gonna ride dirty
So,
with the UGK.
right, UGK, man, that's a nice one to have in there too, bro. No doubt. Corey Moe in the building. Chevy done explained to me the Corey Moe connection and all that, you know what I mean? So I found that very fascinating whenever he came on the pod.
Yeah, he yeah what Pimp C said. He said he used to tell Corey Mo, come back when you get a little older, because Pimp used to deal with Corey Mo older brother, and then when Pimp got out of prison and he moved to Atlanta, Corey Mo was here. So
Oh,
then that's when Corey Mo was doing his thing. So him Pimp put them down.
That's nice, man. And then they got a nice record with Maddie B, Bun B, produced by
Devin the
Corey
Dude.
Mo. The Feel
And
So Good joint.
yeah, you forgot Devin the Dude on there.
And Devin the Dude. That's my guy right there. Devin the
Yeah,
Dude. Yeah, that's one of my favorite artists. So that's a nice record right there, bro. When I asked Maddie B, I'm like, yo, what was that one shining moment? At that point, that's what she had mentioned. Whenever she was hopped in the lab with Bun B, and he's like, yo, get in here, man. Let's knock his record out. And Corey Mo producing it. You
yeah.
know, that was a nice moment right there. Maddie B, and when you talk about those frequencies and those vibrations, that's another reason why I respect Maddie B so much. Because for one, she's just a nice songwriter. Period. Got a nice voice, and she's very pleasant. But also, her subject matter is clean. It's the whole world could listen to all of her records.
And she is
You could
loved too.
Yeah,
All
you know
all
what
the
I
songs
mean? Like she's
about
a
love.
nice positive representation of love. You can play her at the barbecue. Children can listen to her music. You know what I mean? Like her limitations, she doesn't have any. Like it's the sky's the limit all the time for every record she drops.
Yeah, and
That's you
still,
can't say that about every artist.
and you really can't. And I totally agree with you with that one. And because right now she's dropping a song every month. Um,
Fire.
so you know if y'all ain't listened to it, go and check out that Maddie B. She got a couple of more sync license. She got some sync placements.
Placements with the
Yeah,
film.
she just got I
Yeah.
think television shows. I think she just got. I think two more just got synced. So yeah, y'all need to check out Maddie B. Maddie,
Yeah, yeah,
not
no doubt.
with the
And I'm
T,
sure you
with
probably
the T's.
Maddie with the B. And I'm sure you behind probably produce, probably mix down some of those records.
The London did a lot of her sync stuff. London,
London Alexa.
yeah. So London did a lot of sync stuff. So I've been working on. I've been working on. She a Nashville artist. Her name Mikhail Solis. She's a soulful R&B singer. Man,
Yeah.
I'm working up with her on one of her projects, and then me and her got a couple of records that she's trying to finish up and release. Then I got JT and Maintain. They some Mississippi cats.
Mm-hmm.
Working on their records. I'm doing a lot of mixing. Though. I'm just mixing their records, but
Mm-hmm.
um,
Putting that touch on it.
with Mikhail, me and her, I got production and also mixing and mastering her records as well.
Straight up, man. That's super dope. You got any pet peeves whenever you in the lab?
Yeah, no smoking and drinking.
No partying in the booth.
It ain't none of that. I tell you come over here to work.
Yeah. I remember we was discussing that one day. He was like, yo, why is there 50 people in this joint? Like
Yeah, I feel I like to, cause when you got your back turned to a bunch of folks, you don't know who plotting. I've been around. I
That's a
seen some
fact.
real nasty stuff in studios
That's a
where
fact.
you have an engineer doing his thing, then you got a ungrateful artist want to attack the engineer when they got their back turned, when
Wow.
they making their music sound amazing. Some folks feel like because they don't hit the right notes and stuff like that, you know. You say, "Hey, look, I think you flat on there." Folks want to get offended. Then they trying to show out in front of their entourage. So
Mm. Yeah.
I tell anybody, I got that fire on me in the studio.
Straight
Period.
up.
You
Straight
get
up.
disrespectful, you ain't going home.
Straight up, man. That's
And
wild though. That's a greasy situation right there, bro. But we see it. We see those weird studio stories.
yeah, so that's how man. That's how come I kind of got away from doing trap music. The R&B artists, the rap artists I deal with, they got to be more like J. Cole, Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar's type cats.
Hmm.
You know, I ain't into that. If you come in and talking about I done shot up the world, I done put shit down, I'm like, on. I don't want to be around.
Yeah, bring a better energy around. So I feel like, man, that work environment is everything, bro. Like,
Yeah, I can't do the kill, and then want to smoke. Yes, you want to smoke 4 hours of your session, then complain because you ain't got nothing but a hook done. That's on you. You wasted your time.
straight up, man. So, chicken wings. Which one you rocking with, drums or flats, twin?
Man, it's chicken. I ain't picky. I'm gonna
Chicken,
take that.
chicken.
I'm gonna take that hit out and eat them wings and them flats. The drum and the wing
Hey, 10 and 10,
all day long.
no doubt. So, what about the sauce? You rock with the, you dipping them in some of that honey mustard or something?
Nah, man, I'm a true believer. If you season your food right, you don't need no sauce. Um, like
Hey,
if like
word.
barbecue, I don't do barbecue sauce.
I
If
don't need. I don't do barbecue.
if I got to hide the way you season your meat, I ain't gonna eat it.
So you saying that sauce is they trying to add the flavor that chicken may not have, may not
Yeah,
be equipped with.
man, yeah, a lot of barbecue sauce just hide the true flavor of the food that you putting on that grill. If you season it right, you won't need. Folks like, man, you don't put no barbecue sauce on your ribs. I said, eat it. And when they get eaten, like, oh man, what you do that? I said, hey, it's just seasoning. So there it is.
So did you grow up on that good old Mississippi cooking?
Yeah, my mama and granddaddy, they was something serious in that kitchen.
Well, I bet they could throw down.
You heard? I said my mama and granddaddy. A
Yeah,
lot
the papa, huh?
of
Yeah.
men, a lot of men in my on my mom's side cook. Even my pops, he was a cook. He can cook. So it wasn't
Dirty, dirty South,
it
man.
was it wasn't one of those things where we ate good. I'm just be 100, man. It wasn't.
No doubt.
And my mom, she passed it down. She was like, "I'm gonna teach y'all how to cook, so
Hmm.
you don't have to worry about somebody cooking for you.
It's a nice survival tactic.
You have to."
Yeah,
I
me
see
too.
a
I'm
lot
like,
of I see a lot of folks going to them box meals. I'm like, who eating that?
I ain't never liked those little Lunchables, twin. I used to be at school like, yo, where's your lunch at? They like right here. Oh, little Lunchables with the crackers. There wasn't enough food for me in school. I play football. I need some calories.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, it was different. So discipline or motivation?
um, Discipline or motivation. Without discipline, you can't have motivation. If you discipline, you're gonna be disciplined enough to motivate yourself to continue to do what you need to do. You can't have one without the other.
That's a fact. The discipline comes first, right?
Yeah, because if once you discipline and you getting everything that you need to get done, the motivation gonna stay there. Because if you got motivation, but you don't have the discipline to push through and continue to be motivated, you just gonna fall to the wayside. That's my opinion of it.
That's that consistency. Because you're not gonna feel 100% every day.
Yeah.
It's not.
But that discipline, if you have that discipline will get you farther and then that motivation is like, okay, I'm gonna stay the course. So
Hmm.
you being disciplined and saying, hey, I'm gonna stay the course, that gonna motivate you to keep pushing.
Hmm. Right. You've carried that throughout your journey, man. You wearing it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no doubt. So when you mix songs down, right? When you mix a record down, after that, what you got very good speakers in your studio. I'm sure of it. But have you ever took the record and went to the vehicle and played it loud in the vehicle?
Always.
Is that one of the first? Is that the first route you take when you feel like it's complete? Like, let me hear how it sounds in the whip.
Yeah, because you want to see how it translates. Because a lot of folks don't understand studio monitors will trick your ear. It'll mask stuff that you don't understand, especially if you don't control your low ends in the mix. You go
Mm-hmm.
out to the car, and if you ain't control that low end, it gonna mask everything. You just gonna woo 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 woo. Oh, I gotta go down and tame them subs and that kick, that bass.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things they do have some studio monitors that help with that. A lot of folks don't know what they are. A lot of folks want to go to the just like somebody said, I want these Jordans. They're gonna want the Jordans for the speakers. So they're gonna want the Yamahas. They're gonna want the
Mm-hmm.
some folks they want the Atoms. Some folks want the JBLs. So a lot of those are just they studio monitors, but they really commercial. They're
So
not.
those are scratching the surface, kind of basic.
They don't understand the You got to understand the freakish response of your monitors. A lot of cats that go want to get the 8 inch, the 8 inch. This I mix with some 3 inch monitors, and they sound better. I got some Yamahas in here. I got some Atoms. Sound better than them.
But
And
that's
then
because you're on top of your game. You know what it's supposed to sound like.
and a cat came over here and I let him. He's like, "What? Wait a minute." Then he said, "Which speakers are those?" I said, them 3 inch monitors right there." Then he was like, "They sound better than them Yamahas." I said, "I know." And then it's like it translates. So with those, I don't have to guess when I go out to the car.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I might have to like say I go in there like, oh yeah, I need to turn these vocals down. They sent to above the mix the music, so I ain't gonna say took them, but I kind of get them to a point where they level and they sound everything sound glued together and mixed. It sound real good.
That's
So
interesting. You
so
you
yeah,
feel like certain, I heard this too, like when you move music around too much, technology wise, like say emailing it back and forth and all, do you feel like it takes a little bit of the quality away
no.
once you translate it to different things?
Nah, man. It's the only thing is like I always so once you bounce a song out in Pro Tools or whatever DAW you're using, if
Yeah,
you bounce it out to 16 bits, yeah, you already degraded the quality of the sound. That's
right.
CD, that's because when you put music, because here's the thing, since you streaming music now, why compress your music down to 16 bits? You ain't putting it on CDs. 16 bits when you putting it on CDs. So
So
I
you
use
put up on game, twin. A lot of them don't know that. They just throwing stuff around.
so I don't compress it down to no MP3.
Mm-hmm.
No, I always leave it in a wave form. Cause when
Waveform.
cause when you send it to your if you streaming it, they gonna want it in a wave form. So
Mm-hmm.
you keep it in that wave form. I always use what um 48 and 32 bit flow.
Word.
Because here's the thing, what's bigger than that? You got um Dolby Atmos now, so the so sound is getting clearer and better. So if folks still doing on 16 on what 24 and 16,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of time.
So they quick to fly to their MP3.
Yeah, I don't know why. I always see them wave for files out. If they want to compress their music to MP3, that's on them. They gonna get the clearest um record from me.
That's crazy, man. So you ever had to get a sample cleared? Have you ever got one cleared?
No, I help somebody clear some samples. I ain't clearing no sample.
That's
I'm
pretty cool, though.
if you want to be from me, you clean that sample. I ain't cleaning it. I ain't rapping on it.
He
I know
said
how to do
the
it.
answer no.
I know how to do it, but that's a process. And when I say
No
that
doubt.
process, because you have to find out who own the publishing, and
Mm-hmm.
then say you go 30 years back, you still got to clear that sample. Now 75 years, you don't. 25, 30, you got to clear them samples.
Yeah.
Record label, if the record label folded, um, and say for instance, you don't know who wrote the song or who made the beat or this, that, and that, you got to find all that before you can to help clear that sample.
Yeah, my thinking process went that way. I couldn't help it. Like every time I hear a sample, I can't help but my brain to be like, "Yo, I wonder if that sample got cleared or not." Because I remember Yin Yang Twins, one of their joints, it blew up. I mean, it was it was a big time record for them. And then they reverted back to the sample holder, trying to get it cleared, and it was a no go. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But see, here's the crazy. Some folks they rather not the song make it because of some of these songs they make them samples and these beats they make it they don't understand it keeping them alive. If you got a cat that
True,
did
true.
on
That's
40
true.
years ago and they ain't doing nothing,
Yeah,
and you want to get back on the scene, let that look. Hey man, I appreciate y'all sample. Hey, give me about 20 25 on that on the split. Um,
yes. Do the
let's
splits,
do
man.
let's do a remix and let me get on it.
Yeah,
But
let's
see
do the
that
splits.
folks don't understand that
Man,
they
I remember back. I used to let splits ride sometimes just to just to have stuff out with certain artists. I'm like,
I
I
would
ain't.
I wouldn't.
But now, nah, today, no, nah, that's not happening.
No,
But
yeah, I wouldn't. Cause at the end of the day, if you ask them to, you ask to get on something they doing, they gonna tax you.
yeah, it depends on what type of business you got working out. But yeah, those samples is that's interesting, man. Like there's a lot of samples floating around here. But like you said, like Project Pat said, they asked him how they felt when Drake sampled one of his joints. He was like, "Yo, it was a blessing to me." Drake's 50 times a harder artist than I am right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, cause Pat know the business. He gonna
mm-hmm.
instead of him killing the song, he just gonna like, okay, I need this, and he has the right to say, I want 50 or I want 100.
There you go. And why not keep that good relationship too, as well?
I agree with you. You got like I said, folks don't want to see the song on and don't understand. It gonna help put more money in their pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy because some of these samples, some of these cats be on 10 G's. And then look, the crazy thing, me and Wu had talked about this one time. He had to get a sample cleared. They
Uh-huh.
told him 10 G's, but they couldn't play the sample from the record. They had to get some musicians to come in there and replay everything.
Ah, word. So they just didn't want the authentic piece played, but a replica.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, another dope artist, man, is Mars that Wu has been working with for years, man.
yeah.
Mars is super dope. So then the artist, so yo, I'm not gonna hold you too long, but let me ask you this. What's one artist that you came across? It could be a big name, it could be an underground name, that you was just like, yo, like this artist it checks all the boxes. Got the stage presence, got the delivery, the cadence, the creativity, the patience, the learning skills, the gifts. Like who do you feel like is that one artist is like, yo,
Um, so I would say this here is Now I would say everything you just said. I would say that's Maddie. That's Maddie all day long.
I
Um,
agree with you on that.
um, but also, and me and Maddie both. I got two. I know two female artists that can go,
Mm-hmm.
but they lack a lot of stuff you just said. Um,
Word.
one is I'm gonna send you the song. Her name's Shelly Sweets, super dope artist.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but her she got some attitude that stop her from getting into other doors. And then the other one, her name Sheena Renee. Um,
Mm-hmm.
both of these artists is from here, from Atlanta.
ATL. Word.
Yeah, Sheena has a soulful. Her and Shelly have soulful voices. I mean, that will touch your heart.
Rock the world, huh?
But
Yeah.
Sheena, she dealt with some real shisty managers, and
Word. Hate when
her
that happens.
dealing with shisty managers made her like a. Oh, I forgot her name, Kool Aid too. Kool Aid was just on our podcast. Kool Aid, a super dope artist,
Shout out to
um,
Kool-Aid.
songwriter, but again,
Mm-hmm.
she's one too that allowed shisty individuals stop her from moving
And
forward.
see, we see this, man. We see the game tear up some of the most talented people that ever came across.
Yeah,
I know if you ask Lauren Hill, they're like, yo, what happened to you, Lauren? She's like, yo, the game. I didn't want any parts of it.
yeah, you see a lot of that. And while you think about it, man, I'm like, man, it's a lot of. I know a lot of cats just
Rush.
who's a
Rush books. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
and you know, in the music game, it's, you know, you're not promised 10, 20-year run. You know what I mean? You might have a short run, but you could take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
But the R&B, they got a long longevity than rappers, and
I
like I said,
agree.
I don't know why rappers got a expiration dates when a singer don't.
Like you said, smart thing to do both. You know what I mean? Devin a dude, you know?
Yeah,
Man, David Banner too, man. I remember when Chevie came on, he reposted our episode. So that was brilliant. That was dope to me. I got to see that firsthand. I was like, yo, that's hard right there. That's dope. David Banner reposted me. Mississippi Hall of Famer.
already. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming on, no twin. And you know it was overdue, but it's good to get to know you and everything, man, and catch a great vibe with you. You know, man, I'm not gonna hold you too long because I know you got 1,000 things to do, a gazillion. But everything's phenomenal, man. Your work ethic, your talent, the way you get this music, Taylor's Talk podcast. You know, you just a brilliant individual, brilliant brother all around. So appreciate you, bro.
Man, I appreciate that, and thank you for having me on, man. It's definitely a pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to stay behind the scene. Uh, I don't like talking about me. I rather talk about somebody else.
Right, yeah, yeah, we know this. That's why I
I
feel
like to
special.
lift everybody else up.
Yeah, you very uplifting, man. So you inspired me. So man, continue to work, man, to do your thing.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man.
Let's get the business.
Already.
Yo, 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 let's get the business.